I certainly enjoyed myself last night. How about you, Jack?
Yeah, it was good fun. Always a pleasure to cover the game, and I really enjoyed myself as much as you're there for work. Obviously you want Fulham to win, and obviously we did win. So, um, someone told me last night that is, and this is an incredible stat because if you think about it, it sort of makes sense. Biggest Fulham Premier League win since we beat Crystal Palace 4-1 in 2013. Obviously, Kasami's wonder goal and Sidwell. But obviously, since we had such a dire season, that season went down, came back up. And then obviously, those two previous seasons, we never won a game like 3-0.
Wow, that's
So this
insane.
is a real statement win for Fulham.
Yeah, like that's a crazy stat. What, like 9 years? You think
9, yeah.
about some of the wins we got in the championship that were phenomenal. We had the old
Mm.
7-0, well, 3-7-0s or something, insane like that. That is quite a surprising stat and something I hope we can change very quickly and maybe get 2 or 3 of those this season.
Absolutely. Let's sort of talk about the game then. Fulham just flew out the traps. Willian was fantastic. Pereira, Paulinho, just bundles of energy. And obviously, Willian was the main man going forward, looking to get that opening goal. We'll come on to the opening goal, but what did you make of Willian's first half performance in particular?
Willian the Conqueror, he was absolutely amazing. I,
Mm.
I have a real excitement about him. I love players that are just really good on the ball, that it just had one of those nights where everything goes right. Every touch he makes, every pass, every shot at least it's on target. And he had a perfect night, I think, apart from his very last pass, which is annoying. Um, I just thought he was so good to watch. And if he can play like that, most games, then he's a starter for me. We have an abundance of wingers, but he definitely adds that touch of quality and class, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was terrific, honestly. You look at his age and you think, oh, is he still going to be able to perform at a high level in the Premier League? And this is the great thing about 5 subs and our squad depth, especially in the wide areas. You don't necessarily have to play him for 90. And when he did play for, I think he came off for like 65, 70 minutes, he was brilliant. And that's just a good cameo to have. And then you can bring on the likes of Dan James, Harry Wilson, Manuel Solomon still to come. It's very, very exciting. And the opening goal, Harrison Reed with his second goal for Fulham, his first at Craven Cottage, and a really good goal because we were knocking the door, especially from set pieces.
It was really superb, wasn't it? I had to watch a replay about 20 times to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that there wasn't a deflection because the way it dips into that bottom left corner was unbelievable. And I was like, oh, that must have just taken a nick off the defender. And I watched it over and over again. I was like, no, it was just a ridiculously good finish. You can see when the ball's headed out of the area. They're like, oh, is he going to hit it first time? But no, he just takes it to the side, controls it, looks up, like bam. And
Mm.
Martinez was being very stubborn. He was pulling off some superb saves yesterday, and I was wondering if it was going to be one of those days. But no, it was a phenomenal goal, and I'm so pleased for him. And that's what Silva can bring out of all players, isn't it? Like, just so pleased for him. He's actually from Worthing, actually, where I live.
Yeah, oh, really?
Well, he
Yeah.
was, and he used to play for Worthing Miners, which my brother played for. So it's an
Wow.
interesting fun fact for you there. So yeah.
He's a great player, fantastic signing, underrated player for Fulham
Hmm.
over the last few years. Obviously, Willian had a couple of chances. Pereira, that volley wide from the corner. Mitrovic header off the line. It was all Fulham, wasn't it? Um, I wasn't in the Hammersmith end. So how was the atmosphere like in the Hammersmith end in that first half? Fans must have been feeling quite frustrated, obviously, because we hadn't been taking our chances, and obviously that finally that goal came. So what was it like in the Hammy end?
Oh, actually, it was electric in the Hammy End last night. Compared to Bournemouth, where there was a lot of frustration
Mm.
being vocalized. Last night was just really positive. Everyone seemed to be in a really good mood. Like the atmosphere was good, the energy was good. Yeah, it was all good.
Fantastic stuff. Okay, so 1-0 up, and fairly from kickoff, they sort of get in behind us, and that ball to Danny Ings. Bobby D. Cordova Reed is playing him on side, and Leno makes a good save at the front post. You've got to be slightly wary of when we score, you're at the most vulnerable. And, apart from that, I don't think Villa posed us much of a threat.
Well, I was amazed to see the match stats afterwards, doing the old Fantasy Premier League. And
Mm.
Leno made 6 saves apparently and was man of the match according to the point system. I was like, I remember one save, and I was talking to my brother. I was like, "Do you remember like 6 saves?" And we just couldn't for the life of us, you know. But I'm so happy that he managed to get a well-deserved clean sheet. You know, Leno's been an absolute hero in the sticks, and you know he deserves to be getting these clean sheets. As does Ream, who was superb last night. But like you say, yeah, 1-0 up. You never know how it's going to go, and if they're suddenly going to start, getting us on the back foot. And with the squad that Villa have, I was like concerned, before the game. I had the good feeling, but Ollie Watkins is a great striker. They've got great players like Martinez, even Danny Ings is a great finisher, and then Coutinho. We're not really sure what's happening with him. I was expecting to see him last night. I just think his form's gone out the window. But there are enough, really good players, Matty Cash as well, that squad should be achieving, quite a lot. And I think that's probably what's led to the dismissal of Steven Gerrard so swiftly after that result last night.
Yeah, that was extraordinary. We'll come on to obviously Gerrard in a moment. But obviously Matty Cash came out the team. In came Jan Bednarek. Konza went to right back. And suddenly you're thinking, there's two teams here who aren't playing a natural right back. And we targeted that down the left-hand side and got in behind them. Robertson again was electric up and down the pitch. And yeah, we had them on toast really in that first half. There was a moment where Leno had to make sort of a double save. He came out and didn't quite drop it. Watkins got the ball from him and then he recovered really well at the front post. And I think that's when Mings went over the barrier, I think, in the first half. I seem to remember that being quite dangerous. But okay, so half-time, 1-0 Fulham, happy days. And then, of course, the second half starts. It's a quiet start to the second half. And then suddenly there's a foul by Mings on Willian and it all kicks off. What did you see of the red card?
Yeah, well, first of all, Mings, going back to him going over the advertising hoard, clearly he just felt the atmosphere and the love from the Fulham fans that he just had to get involved. And who can blame him, right? And then, Brilliant. Of course, as we'll touch on later, he gave us a little helping hand or helping foot. That incident was crazy. Yeah, so I spoke to my brother at halftime and I was like, right, well, Steven Gerrard's going to go in there and say, this is it, guys, do or die. You've got to go out all guns blazing because they have nothing to lose. Like, he was acutely aware of the situation. So I was expecting us to be like, right, here we go. It's squeaky bum time. And then suddenly, Willian does brilliantly to draw a foul, getting them a second yellow card in the space of 5 minutes. And then it's all kicking off and everyone's shouting off, off, off. And I didn't see anything at the time, but of course you go along with it, And I figured, well, the fact that Mitrovic has gone down for so long means he knows that there's contact there. So he knows VAR are going to look at it. Having retrospectively looked at it on the telly, I think it is a red card, 100%. Douglas Luiz was stupid for sticking his head anywhere near Mitrovic, but Mitrovic definitely antagonized him. And then the kind of 1 second delay in the reaction when he, pulls his face is a little bit cringy. But would I change it? No, of course not. He's aggravated him, drawn
the
a
wind-up motion.
Yeah, got the red card, which is effectively, I think Mitrovic. It's funny. Last game, I thought he was like, I'd say like 70% Mitrovic, and yeah, he won the penalty and scored. Last night, I wasn't impressed with him, but he got them sent off, then won the penalty and scored it again. And it just goes to show you the best players can not be at their best and still get results, which is
still impact the game.
Yeah,
that's a really good point, actually. Obviously, I saw the foul and I saw the yellow for Mings, and then obviously on the monitor they said they were checking a red card. And for me, Mitrovic does. He kind of obviously he goes in with his chest to Douglas Luiz to confront him, but Luiz completely just loses his head and makes it worse and puts his head in, and it does look like a bad headbutt. It probably hurt him. It's close contact. It looked quite hard. I don't think Douglas Luiz has many complaints, a moment of madness. But it is that sort of dark arts we're seeing from Mitrovic, the antagonizing of Douglas Luiz. And really, Mitrovic, I was actually surprised Mitrovic didn't get subsequently booked for maybe a confrontation with Douglas Luiz before the headbutt. But he didn't. And then and Villa down to 10 men. And goodness me, Villa fans last night, I watched a vlog from earlier, so toxic. booing, "We want Gerrard out, get out of our club," singing like songs taking the mick out of Steven Gerrard when he slipped against Liverpool, against Chelsea for Liverpool.
Wow.
Just it was quite incredible to hear, honestly. Your thoughts on that, maybe?
Yeah, it saddens me, to be honest. Steven Gerrard is a legend of the game. We all know how much of an incredible player he was. And yes, that's not a formula for instant managerial success, but he did very well at Rangers. Different ball game, I appreciate. But I don't think it's fair to turn a manager like that. And actually, when I was reading his record at Villa today, and it was the equivalent of 38 games, 12 wins, 44 points. And if I'm being honest, if you took that at the start of the season and your aims is right, let's stay up securely as a Premier League side, then you'd be like, yeah, 44 points will do the job. It's fine. So I'm guessing it's the recent run of forms that's really gone against him. And the signings, big signings. Clearly, the club has a lot of ambition then. But two of the three big signings he's made have been injured, and then Coutinho is completely out of form. And for me, the biggest thing from last night though was it looked like he'd lost the dressing room for I know it's cliche, but looking at some of the players' attitudes, Bailey in particular, I thought was really poor.
Yeah.
Not everyone was like it, but a couple of players were very sluggish. Didn't look like they cared that much. And then where's the discipline with Douglas Luiz? That was just so. He was baited by Mitrovic, and we've seen it the other way around. And it's scary when you have a player like that. But it was just so silly. Straight out of half time, pretty much. Like it just wasn't going right, and we forced them into that situation. And I'm super proud, and I'm not going to take anything away from Silva and the Fulham boys. We deserved it all when we made them play like that. But that squad on paper should be achieving so much more. So it's an understandable decision. Could he have turned it around long term? We'll never know.
I think the Villa fans just run out of patience. Ultimately, even the opening day they lost to Bournemouth, which was a worrying sign. They beat Everton, they beat Southampton this season as well, both at home. I thought they were unlucky against Chelsea the other day. I thought they played quite well. But Fulham completely bamboozled them last night. A second goal coming from the penalty spot. Matty Cash handed in an unnatural position. Mitrovic's sort of half volley hits him in the hand. Oliver gives a penalty straight away. Doesn't even need to check VAR, really. I suppose it got checked. And one of the weirdest, most unconvincing... We've seen this before from Mitrovic. The one against Leeds, where he, in the Championship, we won 2-1 back in Parker days. Just didn't hit it very well. Keeper goes the same way, and it just kind of goes in off the post or goes on the other side. Strange penalty, but very relieved to get the second goal.
Yeah, I'm still trying to clean my pants from last night when when Martinez got a save to it, but it went in. I still get bloody nervous every time Mitrovic steps up, despite the fact that his record now is incredible. The thing is, 4 times out of 5, the keeper goes the right way. And that's what scares me so much, because Mitro, we know it's power. It's power towards the corner.
Yeah.
But, for example, Ivan Toney, when he steps up, you're like, right, he's going to absolutely just dink it. You just have that confidence, the old McBride and Helgson. But credit to him, his actual record is really good now. I'm nervous every single time because, like you say, the keeper gets so close to it. And last night I was it was a little bit lucky. It was a little bit fortunate last night, fully deserved 3-0, but a little bit fortunate, especially as we are about to talk about the third goal as well.
I'm just trying to remember all the penalties this season. So Alisson went the right way. Jose Sarr obviously saved it, went the right way. Bournemouth, he put it the other side. And then last night he put it the same side of the keeper. That's 3 out of 4. Is there any other penalties you've had this season? Can't remember.
Probably.
I actually can't remember. So yeah, that's 2-0. And to be fair, obviously with the red card, the game sort of goes a little bit flat from there. And actually that's fine for us because we could just see it out. And then the third goal, own goal from Tyrone Mings, it honestly can't get much worse for him right now. After last week against Chelsea, this week as well, last night.
It's a shame for him, isn't he? Because he's a big player, and he obviously has been around that England squad. Annoyingly for me, I lost my fantasy league head-to-head because of Mings, because he got an own goal and yellow card. But it's an unfortunate third goal. Not much you can do about it. Cabano's done well to get into space, and when you hit it low and hard, all it takes is a little nick off a Fulham player or a defender, and these things can happen. So I think Mitro will actually set up Cabano there as well, so that was good. Just that, unlucky for Mings considering he made that goal line save in the first half, but nobody's going to be thinking about that. And there's going to be a lot of confidence building to do in that Aston Villa side now, isn't there?
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see what they do on Sunday against Brentford. Quick word on João Palhinha, another excellent performance. Shirt tucked in. It's the stuff of dreams.
He is incredible. And it's now got to the stage where I'm looking at our Fulham squad and going, there are 5 to 6 players now that I feel really special about. Like that they're clearly Premier League quality, and not just Premier League quality, but like top 10 quality. Palhinha, incredible. Mitrovic, we know all about. Pereira has been sensational, in my opinion. Willian has proven that he's an absolute baller. And Leno, don't get me started on Leno. And then hopefully now Diop is going to start securing his place and getting us clean sheets, because that's kind of the missing piece of the puzzle. And he was supposed to be this big signing, and no one was expecting Ream to achieve what he has. And I'm just so happy for him. And I love Tosin so much, but he is still young. And if this season it's Ream and Diop, then so be it. We don't think Ream will be around next year. I mean, I feel silly saying that. He'll probably be with us till he's about 50, but
wouldn't mind it.
Yeah,
honestly,
I just so much respect. But now, so we have about 6-7 players where I'm like, this is just superb, like unbelievable.
And it's good to get the clean sheet, because we were leaking quite a few goals. Obviously, 4 against Newcastle, 2 against Forest, 3 against West Ham, 2 against Bournemouth. Our goal difference is now we've scored 19, conceded 20. We've actually scored a hell of a lot of goals this season as well, which makes obviously very, very entertaining games of football. But it's great to get the clean sheet at home. First one for Leno as well, because Rodak played in goal against Wolves. And Leeds to come on Sunday. What are you expecting from Leeds United?
They're very hard to put your finger on, because when I watched Leeds v Arsenal, I was blown away by their second half performance. They destroyed Arsenal, and they just couldn't put the ball in the net. Penalty miss. I just couldn't believe how well they performed against a team that's top of the table, who were reduced to absolutely nothing. And I was like, wow, okay, this Leeds side's got some real talent. And then coming up against Leicester, I was like, well, you'd think they're going to continue that and take advantage of a Leicester team very much out of form. And Leicester just, absolutely, destroyed them 2-0, really.
Yeah.
So I'll take a draw, which doesn't sound very ambitious, but we're away from home. I reckon they will be good. So I'll take a point, and then with an eye for 3 against Fat Frank Lampard.
Controversial. Well, Leeds and Everton to come, Manchester City, and then Manchester United, and then we're done for the World Cup and until Boxing Day, where we go to Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace. Stephen, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk through the game with you. Fulham have won by 3-0 in the Premier League. We sit 9th, 1 point behind Liverpool, and just good vibes around the place. Happy days
all around. And can I just say the gold train top? It's sexual chocolate. I absolutely love it. Go get one.
It looks really nice. It's fantastic. I need to go and get some Fulham Club. I've only got
that rainbow gear was so nice. Well, I really wanted to buy one last night, but
they brought it out a couple of days ago, didn't they?
Yeah, the jacket in particular is really nice.
Brilliant stuff. Honestly, thanks so much, everyone, for watching. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Sunday at Ellen Road for Leeds United away. Come on, Fulham. Stephen, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Jack. Come on, you Whites.
Yeah, come on, Fulham. Enjoy your weekend. Come on, Fulham.